This conference will now be recorded.
That's what happened, exactly what happened.
Welcome. This is the Town of Darien Sewer Commission public hearing and regular meeting agenda of Tuesday, September 1st, 2020. We are calling the meeting to order at 4:30 p.m. via remote video conference. There you go. I'd like a motion to go into public hearing to see if we have any public to hear from on our two regulation changes.
I'll make that motion to go into public hearing.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask for a vote. Say aye.
Aye.
Susan, I assume that's an aye. And we're unanimous and we're in public hearing. The first item for which we are holding this public hearing is proposed amendments to the Town of Darien Code, Appendix C, Administrative Regulations, Article 6, Sanitary Sewer Regulations, Section 1000-6.2 on sewer user fees. And I should probably read the notice on that. This was the legal notice that was placed in the paper. Town of Darien Sewer Commission will conduct a public hearing on Tuesday, September 1st at 4:30 p.m. via remote access for the purpose of affording property owners and residents within the Town of Darien an opportunity to be heard concerning proposed amendments to the Darien Code of Ordinance, Appendix C, Administrative Regulations. Public participation is available via email at dariensc@darienct.gov by 4 p.m. or by phone with links following. And the first item on the agenda is sewer user fees, Article 11, Sanitary Sewer Regulations, Section 1000-6. Subsection amendments in relevant part are proposed up to the following rates. 6-2.1, effective October 1, 2020, the standard charge shall be at a rate of $6.55 per 100 cubic feet of water up to that rate. And effective October 6, Section 6-3.1, effective October 1, 2020, the minimum service charge shall be $254.53 per annum, and those are up to. I'll wait to read the last section when we go to the next item. I'm going to do them one at a time if you think that's appropriate, Darren or Ed. All right. Hearing no objection. All right. Did we receive any emails from the public?
Aware of any.
Did anybody receive any comments from the public? I see no members of the public on by video stream, and I see no members of the public on by telephone. It is 4:34 p.m., so we're past the point at which we noticed the availability of public meeting. Hearing no public comment on item 2, I will move to item 3. Item 3 is the proposed addition to the Town of Darien Code, Appendix C, Administrative Regulations, Article 12, Sanitary Sewer Regulations on fats, oils, and grease regulations. And the section of the public notice having to do with that had everything I said previously, in addition to sewer, fats, oils, and grease regulations, to add Article 12, fats, oils, and grease regulations concerning the abatement of fats, oils, and grease discharged into public sewers. All members of the public are invited to participate and will be given an opportunity to be heard regarding the proposed changes. All right. Did we receive any emails or communications regarding item 3 on fats, oils, and greases?
No, I'm unaware of any.
Okay. See no members of the public on the video call, either by phone or video. We have thusly afforded the public the opportunity to comment on these 2 regulation changes. And having no members of the public present at 4:35 p.m., can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make that motion to close the public hearing. to further testimony.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, raise your hand in front of your camera. Looks like 3-0, unanimous of those present. All right, public hearing is closed. We're going to continue on to our regular meeting. And we're calling the regular meeting to order at 4:36 p.m. First item on the agenda of the regular meeting is to approve the minutes from our last meeting of
Chairman, I
August
get 'em.
11th.
My comments are in there.
Mhm.
Okay. Hutchison is spelled.
Again? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's not Hutchinson. That's where people make the mistake, but the T
Well, I
is
think-
always there.
Yeah, the T is dropped out. You got rid of the N, but you also then got rid of the T. So
Hutch.
you need to get the T
I thought he
back.
went myself.
I apologize to Reese, even though he's not here. So anything else?
No,
Oh, I'm give me a second. I'm looking it up.
I didn't have anything else.
Okay, by the way, oh my God. If you have your packages in front of you, take a look at the letterhead and please look at Reese's name. And I think it's wrong there too. I thought I fixed it. It's Huchiso.
No, that's great. On the letterhead is great. Hutchi.
No, wait.
Would be a
On
T,
the-
right?
Well, on the legal notice, it's right, but on the notice of the meeting, it's incorrect. There's two different letterheads.
I fixed one of them, that's why.
Oh,
Yeah.
you unfixed one of them. The first page of the packet is correct. The 13th page of the packet is incorrect.
13 pages.
I'm doing that by the PDF page count because I'm on the computer. So the agenda for the regular, or the minutes from last time is incorrect.
Right,
Okay, so and so the first page of today's agenda is correct.
right.
Okay,
It's
simply
just-
put, there should be no T.
Yeah, there should be a T.
There should be a T.
Definitely a T.
Okay, I did that right. That's
Yes.
correct.
Yes.
No N.
No N.
No,
Okay.
no middle N. We'll
Is
get it
there-
right
Craig.
eventually. Oh, he's here. All right, we got Reese.
Hey, we just corrected your name.
I appreciate it. I could
Let's see
tell.
if I can get it right
Very
now.
kind.
There we go.
Okay, Reese showed up at 4:38. Sorry, Reese. Apparently
And
I
just so
did
you
something
know, Darren,
I don't know.
when folks call in by phone, you can go edit their name, which I just did for Reese.
bad. Okay, you just did that?
There's a little ... when you hover over a person's image, and if you click on that ... edit name is an option.
Which is better. I think it's better. If I do that.
Got you. Thank you.
You also have the control to mute him if you want, just if you need that.
Under the dots?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Um,
Hear from me most, so.
all right, so we're in the middle of approving minutes from the last meeting. I'm just giving them one more once over.
That'll be better.
Any other comments on the meetings from minutes from August 11th? Have a motion to approve the minutes from August 11th?
I'll make a motion of minutes.
All right, Peter makes the first, Susan makes the second. All those in favor, please raise your hands.
Aye.
All right, Reese, I assume you're raising your hand?
Oh, yeah. Well,
I can't tell. All right, so the minutes are approved. And now it is decision time on item 3 and then item 4. The first one is sewer user fees. When we met last time, for the reasons previously stated, we felt that a fee increase was needed, at least for, well, there's several factors, one of which is a reduction in water use by our sewer users, which reduces the effectively the grand list value of amount that we can collect, and we have to get ahead of that. We had a pretty significant reduction in our capital reserve accounts over the last 12 months, and we can't let that accelerate or continue. We want to abate that a little bit. We're looking forward to a future of completing our inflow and infiltration studies and receiving recommendations for improvements to our sewer system, although likely that those improvements will be bonded at that time and we consider them next year. That will, of course, add to the overall annual cost of maintaining the sewer system, as is our requirement to inspect 8 miles of sewer pipe every year, which has been added as of this year to the requirements of our maintenance and oversight of the system. Now, that all being said, we gave ourselves the up to term, and I gotta find my package from last time just so I have my calcs here. Here we go. So the options before us ranged from doing nothing and needing to reduce our reserve account by close to 370,000 estimated, or doing up to $6.55 per 100 cubic feet for a percent increase of 7.38%, which would still have a projected budget in the red by $111,000, and we would pull that money out of our reserve accounts. And really any rate in between is what we noticed. Do I have any thoughts or comments on the potential for rate increase?
Craig, I would say I'm at the high end at the 7.38.
Okay.
All the
For some
reasons
reason,
that you,
yeah, for some reason I thought we'd already decided that. 7.38 sounds good to me.
Yeah, we had decided to notice the public hearing
Okay.
for an increase of up to that amount and then hear
Yeah.
from the public before deciding anything.
I'm comfortable with that amount.
Okay, Peter, any thoughts?
Yeah, I think I'm comfortable with that amount.
Okay, Ed, is there anything we should know that happened over the last 3 months that would change your projections? Or 3 weeks?
No, to be honest with you, that's that number right there is a good place to start for us. There are quite a few unknowns, and we'll get into that later in the meeting with some of the updates, because I want to give you some of the bonding stuff and things like that. So, yeah, as we put this together this next fiscal year, it's going to be something that we're going to kind of get a feel for, because we've never cameraed 8 miles of sewer, and we've done little bits and pieces. So maybe there's some benefits of doing it in large groups. So there may be some savings there, and I did have to put some numbers together regarding pipe lining, manhole lining, or manhole sealing, if you will. So those all come into play, because that bonding number will be something we have to add to our budget. It looks like it's running, from what Jen told me, they'll probably be able to talk more about it later, but it's probably about 100,000 or plus a year in our operating budget just to pay for the bonding for that stuff. But hopefully we'll start to see a return on our investment too after the first couple of years. So that should help also.
I never like making rate increases. It's not lost on me that all of these incremental changes in the fees and taxes that we pay add up to a large impact over time. But we have a vast and aging sewer system to take care of. We have an expensive relationship with the city of Stamford, of which many of the costs are out of our control. 75% of our costs, approximately 70%. But it is certainly our hope that the investments that we make over the next 2 or 3 years stabilize these rate increases again, so we can have another string of no increases as we did for 3 or 4 years in the past. So hearing the consensus of the commissioners, can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
All right, Reese moves to increase the sewer user fee rate to $6.55 per 100 cubic feet, an increase of 7.38%. And then that would go with a like increase in the minimum user charge, right, of, trying to find it here.
237.04 existing, so whatever.
Yeah, so it would move to 254.53. All right, so we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second on that motion?
Second.
Peter seconds the motion. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, can all those in favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, that's unanimous of those present, with Susan, Peter, Reese, and Craig voting in the affirmative. All right, moving on to item 4, which is the proposed addition to the Town of Darien Code, Appendix C, Administrative Regulations, Article 12, Sanitary Sewer Regulations, fats, oils, and grease regulations. That's a mouthful. So any further comment on the regulations that we've looked at a number of times and I think we're finally happy with? Hearing no, can I get a motion to approve the drafted FOG regulations?
I'll move
I'll
it.
make them.
All right, Susan first, Peter seconds. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's, again, 4 commissioners voting in the affirmative: Craig, Susan, Peter, and Reese. Okay. Moving on the agenda, we are now at number 5, guidance brochure for property owners to provide to tenants, discussion and action. Was that provided? I did not see that.
I didn't see it.
Reese,
I'll tee this up.
okay.
This is sort of a really good brochure that we sent out to everybody a year or 2 ago. And my thought was if we could condense that into a 1-pager, landlords might be able to put that in their residential leases as a don't flush this down the toilet or you'll be charged. And, you know, tenants would have more notice on what's acceptable in the sewer system. Oftentimes the tenant isn't the owner of the house and won't, you know, treat the house as well as an owner might, including what they flush down the toilet. But if they're going to be paying for the clogged toilet, you might think twice about wipes and some of the other things. So I thought, speaking with Darren, if we could come up with a 1-page brochure, kind of like that we could hand to the Board of Realtors and add to their lease and maybe some of the brokerages, that they might want to put that in their leases.
Now, I think we did come up with a brochure that we sent out to all sewer users a couple
Yeah.
of years in a row. Something like that, or is that too much?
Yeah, I would say we condense that, but we condense it more towards just saying, don't flush this down the toilet, not as broad reaching as that was, and don't talk about the system outside the house. More what they should just focus on the flushing. I don't think they care whether the system's aging or there's roots or there's, the line might have a sag in it. If we could just make it about what you don't put down the toilet.
Wipes. No wipes.
Wipes. Yeah, exactly. Wipes. Things
I'm
like
trying
that.
to find that brochure.
Yeah, I have a copy of it. I have it.
Do you have a
Yeah.
copy of it?
Yeah, and I thought we did a great job. That was a nice thing. I think people noticed it. And if we could condense that, maybe not as colorful and flowery, more something that would belong in a lease, we could hand that out to landlords, the multifamily landlords, federal, when they get going. We're having a lot of developments that are a larger scale where you could reach more people through a centralized landlord situation. And then if people wanted to, when they rent their homes, put that as a rider, then the tenant would certainly know they've got to hire the drain cleaning people and pay for it. If they put something down the line, they would then be responsible. And it's
So
just one way of reaching another.
It needs to be written in a sort of legal lease language.
Yeah, I mean, not too strict, but something along those lines. Yeah.
So they could add it as a rider, just easily. Here's your
Exactly.
rider.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. So it's just something to think about how we do that, and come up with something in the next few months.
I think that
Maybe
sounds
that's
good.
Yep.
So do we want to take that existing brochure and pull the pieces out that we want to talk about?
That sounds cool. Yeah. I'll do that. I'll pull it together for next meeting.
Okay, that sounds good.
I just wanted to run it by you guys and see how you thought, what your reaction might be.
Look, I think education is a part of our charge, right? And I think you identify maybe another form of weakness where apartment tenants maybe aren't feeling as tied to the responsibility of maintenance of the sewer system, and providing some education is appropriate.
They may not even know it's a sewer.
Yeah. Well, I think, you've personally seen haven't you, the items that come in from certain neighborhoods and the pump stations? Everybody could use it, but anyway. Any further comment on item number 5? Otherwise, we'll table it for further discussion on another agenda once we see kind of a draft of the language.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm for tabling. I don't need a motion for tabling. Item 6, superintendent's report.
Darren, you got the first ones, please?
Okay. We did have a sewer bypass on the Post Road. It was very near to Birch Road, and the sewage was coming from Birch Road. It was the line that came out of Birch Road and went down the Post Road. We cleared it in approximately an hour. The leakage was minimal. We did do our reporting as required by the DEP, and we determined that it was roots with some cotton fabric attached to the roots. So that's been cleared, and we're going to look at it again further. Arcadis has been informed. We shared the TV tapes from the last time we were out there about a year ago. So they're working in that area anyway. So we'll look at that and consider it for root control, possible lining, because it's VCP pipe. The roots were through the joint.
Aaron, what did we report as far as overflow?
report. I would have to look. I would hate to quote this quote because it's going to be on TV. Let's see if I can find it quickly. I texted you the amount. I don't have it. So it was,
Right, your text here is 50 gallons or less.
it's definitely less than 50 gallons. The range they give us is 0 to 50. So it was probably less than 50. Thank you.
All right.
All right, that's it for 6A.
Yes.
6B. Sewer manhole raising for paving program.
Hey, Darren, please update us on that.
Paving program is over, so we did raise at least 3 manholes as part of the paving program. And I haven't gotten a bill yet for it, but we'll pay it when we get it.
Were those ones that were those ones that were previously buried, or they just needed to be raised based on the paving that was correct?
Not necessarily. If it was cracked, we would replace it. If it was buried, we would raise it. If it was a 1938 notched manhole with a little slot in it, we would replace it. If the manhole was good, we'll just raise it to grade. But if there was a manhole that wasn't notched, wasn't split, and was already at grade, we leave it. We mill right around it. That's the lion's share of the manholes that we encounter.
Reese, did you have a question?
I was just curious.
Craig, just to answer
Go ahead, Ed.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just to answer, the 3 that Darren's talking about are 3 that were buried. We did have to raise them to grade. They could have been any of those other conditions he talked about, but these are 3 we identified when we went out to do mark out that were covered with asphalt.
Which is good, because it's always better to improve access.
Sure. Not hit them with a milling machine.
Reese, did you have a comment?
No, not at all. We're good.
Okay, 6C, water usage pattern during COVID.
Okay, I added a little spreadsheet for you in the back to show you that I was unable to find much of a pattern, if you will, during COVID. I was able to get this year's readings from April, May, June, and July, so they're on there.
All right.
And I had 16, 17 that I used to make a comparison, but to be quite honest with you, it really didn't come up or show me anything with regards to our usage here with water. You know, unfortunately. I did go back and look at the pump station readings also. Initially, I was getting some increases at some of the pump stations, but to be honest with you, we're almost right back to where we were before. So we didn't see a major jump or a spike or anything like that due to people being home in residential areas and maybe a reduction downtown because businesses maybe weren't as open, but nothing that I could kind of put my finger on and say, hey, look at this.
Still kind of seeing actually an overall reduction between the 16-17 year and the 19-20 year, which is consistent with what we've been seeing. Yeah,
our usage is dropping. You know, there's droughts. People are actually starting to comply, but you know, that's it's the last couple of months. I showed you the last couple of years. We had a couple increases and then a decrease, couple increases and a decrease. So it's kind of wavering around 850, 900 still.
Okay, so no discernible pattern. Thank you very much for looking into that, so we can keep an eye out to next year. Item D.
Yeah. D, our I&I study. This was good. We had a meeting, a virtual meeting with Arcadis 2 weeks ago. We went through their data. They showed us what they had found in the second portion of the flow isolation that they did. They came up with some recommendations. I should be getting their draft report sometime this week from what they told us, which is good. I told them, you know, take your time, get it. I want it right, so to give us some direction. But it's going to be a document giving us some direction on where to head with some of the areas that they identified as high flow areas. They did give us one area that we should and could look at on our own. We have a really sharp spike on Corbin Drive. Right after it starts to rain and it comes down, right after it stops, she said that we'd be able to, within maybe one storm or two, identify between which two manholes this is happening and kind of maybe identify a roof drain or a catch basin or both that are tied into the sanitary sewer. So we have our guys starting to look into that too. So that was something we could do on our own.
Great.
But the other piece is we do have a meeting with them tomorrow virtually to go over the pump station inspection scope of work. And we're going to start setting up the pump station inspections sometime for the week of the 14th or the 21st. So we're going to do probably like 2 or 3 different days, break them up into like 3 or 4 pump stations each day. So that's what we have planned for that.
Okay, marching on. Good progress. So we should have a little more to talk about next time.
Yes. Yep.
Item E.
Okay, sewer bond resolution. I was kind of hoping to get on the RTM schedule this month. I missed the rules committee by a day. Jen couldn't get the bonding council to write it fast enough, whatever. So what we are doing this month is I'm taking the bond resolution to the Board of Finance on the 14th. I'm sorry, the Board of Selectmen on the 14th and the Board of Finance on the 19th to put together our capital improvements along with a request to cover the engineering portion or design portion, if you will, of the I&I study. I'm going to ask for the whole amount right now. If the Clean Water Fund comes through, then so be it. If we want to pay a portion of it off with non-bond funds out of our reserve, we can do that too. But if I ask for it all, I can always downsize. What I can't do though after I ask is go back and ask for more after we spent it. So we have to be very careful about that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go after the whole thing and then work our way down. We won't bond the money until we're ready to use it, but the bonding resolution allows us to set that up to do it.
You're basically asking for, similar to our rate change, you're asking for permission to bond up to that amount based on your projections.
That's correct. And that projection I gave Jennifer was the $690,000 for the I&I study itself. I went and figured out some capital improvements. Like I told you, lining of some pipe, doing manhole sealing. I figured it was going to run somewhere between 1.25 and 1.5 million for this first section or first phase, if you will. I threw in a little 10% contingency for construction. So I'm up at like $2.34 million. And that over a 20-year bonded period. And that's without the grant. Let's keep the grant out of it. Puts us at about 120 a year in principal, maybe 40K in interest. So we're looking at 150 to 160 a year in bond payments to pay for this first phase, if you will. Did I confuse anybody with that?
No, it makes sense to me.
Okay. So once I get that bond resolution from Jen and I go to the Board of Finance and the Board of Selectmen, I will give that to you guys, hopefully with their approval, to look at before I go to the RTM. If it's not something you guys are comfortable with, I can always go back and make changes to it. I can go back to the Selectmen and to the Board of Finance, but once I go to the RTM, it'll be locked in.
Okay. Any other items under the superintendent's report? That's it?
No, but we do have one new business item. Yeah, you saw it, Craig, the email?
I did. You want to take that up under new business?
If you could, please, that would be great.
Okay. This has to do with communication received from Kip Coons, who's the chairman of the Oxford School Building Committee, regarding the modifications to the property. So I have a motion to go into new business to discuss it.
So moved.
All right. Reese first, Susan second. All those in favor, please raise your hand or say aye. All right. We're now in new business. So this is the email that Ed received earlier today from the Oxford regarding the Oxford School building meeting with I'm just going to say the state of Connecticut. At today's marathon meeting, the state requested that we, the building committee, receive a letter from the Sewer Commission stating that it is acceptable to the commission that the proposed new school may connect to the town's sanitary sewer system. If it is acceptable, then please send such a letter to me and copy everyone on this email. Thanks, Kip. So the normal protocol, Ed or Darren, would be?
Well, we ask your permission to draft up a letter for your signature, Craig, if that's okay with you.
What we need, right? Doesn't their engineer need to provide us with an analysis that the increase in flow isn't going to cause a problem?
The change of views?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe just a letter stating that the use is exactly the same and the anticipated capacity doesn't increase or decrease.
Sure. I mean, somebody that is part of the design side saying it's not going to be an issue, I guess.
I thought I had seen that already, Craig, but if I don't have it here, I will talk to Jeremy about getting that from them first.
Okay.
To verify that the capacity is there in the line.
So it's not a new connection. It's just a change in the building connecting, as it always has, to the sewer.
But is it an intensification of use? We don't know until someone says it's not.
Yeah, yeah, could be, and even if it is, it might be okay.
Yeah, that's all.
Just base it on the size of the school. If it's not doubling or tripling, if it's getting 10% bigger, and they don't anticipate any increases in enrollment beyond de minimis change in the size of the youth.
It's not up to us to project what they're doing and how they're doing it. We just want the professional responsible for the design of the sewer connection to provide those statements to us. Now, I guess in order not to make them wait until October, can the commission authorize me working with Ed and Darren to confirm that we're not concerned about it and sign off on this?
All right with me.
Absolutely.
All right, so a motion to authorize the chairman to handle this. All right, Peter says yes. Reese says second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, Ed, we'll work together on getting what we need and signing off.
Okay, that's fair.
All right. Any other new business? You want me to call Bob up, see where he is with the fire? Hearing none, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Certainly. I make a motion to adjourn.
5:09.
Do I have a second? Susan gives us a second. All those in favor, we're all adjourning. You can stop recording the meeting now, Darren.
Thank you.